After 4 consecutive road course events, the NASCAR Pinty Series is all ovals the rest of the way. The championship battle for 2021 resumes here today at Flamboro Speedway on TSN.
The third of a mile Flamboro Speedway is rich with stock car racing history. Today, it plays a pivotal role in the quest for the 2021 NASCAR Pinty Series Championship. With 4 races remaining, the points battle is led by the 18 of Alex Tagliani, followed closely by 2-time champion LP Dumoulin. Let's get ready for 125 laps of excitement. Welcome to the NASCAR Pinty Series on TSN. We're in Mill Grove, Ontario for the Motomaster 125. Hello and welcome to Flamboro Speedway. I'm Dave Bradley. Along with me is Adam Ross. Both Todd Lewis and Kendra Adams trackside for us here today. And Adam, we just got word that the doubleheader at Chaudière has been canceled for this year. Instead, NASCAR has added another 125 lap race to the season finale at Delaware. So now it's a 10-race 2021 schedule with 4 races remaining. How do you see this one playing out?
It's one less opportunity drivers have to try to close in on their points leader, Alex Tagliani. On the other side, Dave, the races we have left now, 2 at Flamborough, 2 at Delaware, I would say these are the 2 most treacherous oval tracks we go to. Alex Tagliani, while he's a gifted race car driver, this might lend itself to some of the oval racers in the series. And LP Dumoulin has really picked up his game. He's one of the drivers trying to chase down Tagliani.
We have seen a lot of new faces join the series here in 2021, which is great, but one of the most anticipated has to be that of Brandon Watson from Stayner, Ontario, a late model standout in this province, as well as the entire Northeast. He's run stateside in the past as well. Today, he'll be piloting the Leland RGC Chevrolet.
Yeah, he's taken the seat that Mark Dilley has been wheeling the car from, and the 28-year-old from Stayner is an impressive oval track racer. He's going to start 11th this afternoon, Dave, but I expect to see him use patience, pick spots off where he can. He's just a gifted driver I think the fans are really going to enjoy.
And this track will play itself well to a great show here today, as it has done for decades, a staple on the short track Ontario scene for many years. And with more on the track, let's send it down to Kendra Adams.
Thanks, guys. This year marks 60 years that Flamboro Speedway has opened its doors, and this 1/3 mile oval has become a staple in the Ontario short track racing scene. Nearly 50 years with Frank and John Casale running the place, and names like Hanley, Biederman, and Scannell make this place rich with history and a lot of stories to tell. To see how this pivotal race for the Pinty Series Championship is going to be lined up, let's send it down to Todd.
Thanks, Kendra. It is a battle of young and old on the front row. His first ever career pole for the 20 car of Trayton Lapsevich blistered the track record in 15.747 seconds. His first career pole in the Pinty Series for the Rookie of the Year contender. Alongside on the front row, the veteran Andrew Ranger in the 51 car. These two will battle head-to-head into corner number 1 and for 125 laps. When we return to Flamboro Speedway, the green flag for the Motomaster 125.
This NASCAR on TSN broadcast from Flamboro Speedway is brought to you by Fast Eddie Speedwear, Combustion Culture Collection, available at fasteddyspeedwear.com. By E3 Spark Plugs, born to burn. By General Tire. And by Pinty's, making great food fun.
Right now, Dave, it's a battle with Mother Nature. Weather is on the way. The skies are cloudy, but we are going to get this race in. Let's go trackside to Flamboro Speedway announcer Gary Calling.
This track for 50 years. We want to give them a big round of applause, and they're going to do the Start Your Engines. Are you ready, boys? Get up here.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
50 years, Dave. 2 brothers. We're casual acquaintances, and we can't stand 60 minutes together hardly. They've been doing this for 50 years.
And done a great job each and every Saturday night here at Flamboro Speedway. As the field comes to life here on the front straightaway, you can see the drivers already strapped in and getting focused. They will need every bit of that focus for 125 laps here on this tight 1/3 of a mile oval. Look at the 7. Pete Shepard had problems in practice. They dragged out a backup car. That car has no practice, no qualifying, so he'll start shotgun on the field.
The backup car wasn't even on the property. They had to go and get it and bring it back. But let's take a look at the E3 spark plug starting grid, Dave.
Trayton Lapsevich, as Todd mentioned, your pole sitter. Andrew Ranger will start alongside. Then we see DJ Kennington and Brett Taylor making up row 2.
Row number 3, we've got Shea Gemmel making his return to the series alongside Larry Jackson, an excellent qualifying run for Larry. Marc-Antoine Cameron in row 4 alongside Alex Tagliani.
Looking back to row number 5, that's where we find LP Dumoulin and Alex Guinnett in the 52. And then row 6 is Brandon Watson in the 64, making his first ever start alongside a return for Donald Teege in the 80.
Row 7 has Dexter Stacy in the 92, Kevin Lacroix in the 74. Row number 8, Sam Fellows in the 98, the 56 of Malcolm Strong. And rounding out the field, we've got Brent Weller in the 61 and Pete Shepard III in the 7.
A few drivers we will be keeping an eye on. Remember that 80 car when it was wheeled by Rafael Lassard, Donald Teege out with that broken hand? The hand is healed, Teege is back behind the wheel, and he is hungrier than ever.
You know, I'll tell you what, that broken hand, this is probably the toughest place we go to for that. The walls here come out of nowhere, Dave.
They sure do. Let's take a look at your E3 Spark Plugs race analysis. So we've been mentioning it's a short one today, 125 laps.
Again, a sprint to the finish. They're going to take the green flag. Every lap matters. They've got to be up on the wheel. There has been a lot going on here today. Todd Lewis is trackside.
Guys, a couple of cars we're keeping an eye on. The 74 of Kevin Lacroix had an engine change earlier today. No practice, his only laps during qualifying. He starts 14th. And the 80 of Donald Teege in his first race of the season had a gear issue. They made the change. He qualified 12th. We're keeping an eye on him as well. We'll know how well they do after 125 laps.
Field stacks up tightly behind the pace truck as it pulls off to the infield. Trayton Lapsevich and Andrew Ranger, a rookie and a grizzled veteran, starting alongside, looking for the green Alpha 4. It's up and we're underway here in the Motomaster 125.
We're all clear. We're all clear.
Andrew Ranger gets the all clear sign, drops down to the bottom. Flamboro Speedway is a one-groove track, Dave, maybe a groove and a half. You can run too wide, but it's uncomfortable for both drivers.
Both Ranger and Brent Taylor in the 3. You can see him a couple rows back. They're trying to hang on to that outside line.
Tight gap behind him. Clear, second line here.
Running by himself, you're going to see Trayton Lapsevich and Andrew Ranger with a bit of bumper as DJ Kennington to the inside. You'll see the leaders sort of run the left side tires on the seam around the inside of the track. Underneath the seam, the track flattens out. When you race side by side, you have to go to the flat, and the other person on the outside is kind of up where there's not enough rubber to get good grip.
It's really a give and take racetrack as you see the 8 of Shea Gemmel move up one position as he gets underneath, and around goes the 52 of Alex Guinnett. No caution yet as he's in the infield trying to get that car refired. He will, and we avoid going to a caution.
No yellow flag, but Alex Guinnett going a lap down early. You can see the damage on the left rear quarter panel of the Guinnett 52 machine.
They had really high hopes coming into this race. He had run a Sportsman Series race just last night, and it looks like the 92 of Dexter Stacy may have gotten into the back of the 52 early on. Again, fighting for that real estate. It is such close quarters here.
I'm really impressed with Guinnett right now. He's dropping back through the field, but he's showing a lot of respect for drivers on the lead lap. You know these races are going to have yellow flags, the opportunity for a free pass. So if he stays calm, he should be able to get himself back onto the lead lap.
There's Gemmel now continuing to move up. The late model star in the 8 with Jason Hathaway, last year's champion. His crew chief, of course, Hathaway won here. This is a battle for 4th spot as Gemmel continues to march forward.
Gemmel putting a lot of pressure on Larry Jackson. Of course, this is a homecoming for Jackson, the O'Neill Electric Supply number 84. This is where he cut his teeth more than 2 decades ago on Saturday night racing.
Back up at the front of the field, you see Andrew Ranger playing a little bumper tag with the back of the RTC Quick number 20 out. Trayton Lapsevich, and another car goes around, and it's the 74 of Kevin Lacroix.
Lacroix looking over his right shoulder to see what's coming. He gets that car refired, but he has lost a lap.
Have another look at what happened.
Looked like the 80 machine of Donald Teach was behind him, you can hear. Once he loses the car, he spikes the throttle to keep it spinning.
He spun me, so it's clear.
So Lacroix now also a lap down, and this is the worst case scenario if you're Alex Guinnett, because now Lacroix is a lap down, but ahead of the 52 to get the free pass should there be a yellow.
That was Dennis Thompson of Lacroix's crew giving him the update, so obviously Lacroix not too happy with Donald Teach at this point in the race very early on, but as you mentioned, as soon as you get a bump, as soon as you lose traction in the back end at that particular point where you're supposed to be getting on the gas, it's so hard to save it.
You have to be so delicate with the throttle. So, whoa, contact between Dexter Stacy and Brandon Watson. Watson might have a yellow rookie stripe, but he's no rookie racer. He knows this track like the back of his hand. He's won a lot of races here.
And a late model, a super late model he's run here before. As we mentioned, he's run down through the U.S. as well. Definitely a lot of laps under his belt for just 28 years old.
Shake Emma looks to be a fair bit quicker than Larry Jackson. His teammate, Brett Taylor, trouble.
A flat tire right front down on the 20 of Trayton Lapcevich, and he stops up in turn number 2. This will draw a caution.
Lapcevich's right front tire goes down. They were putting a lap on Malcolm Strawn in the 56, so I don't know if any contact was made there. Hopefully we'll be able to find out, Dave.
Lapcevich now has to make his way slowly through this pit road at Flamboro Speedway, which is behind the back straightaway, and this will hand the lead to the 51 miles for migraines Dodge Challenger of Andrew Ranger.
You quite literally come off the track, drive past the bathrooms and the concessions, and then you get to the pit stalls. You could make it a drive-through if you wanted, Dave.
Pick up one of those famous Flamburgers on your way by. Right now, Trayton Lapcevich going to concentrate on getting one of those new General tires and getting back out on track as quickly as he can. As we reset the lineup, we'll take a quick break. We'll be back with more on TSN. Welcome back to race number 7 of 10 for the 2021 NASCAR Pinty Series. We're at Flamboro Speedway for the Motomaster 125 under caution for the first time this afternoon, and that will put the 74 bumper-to-bumper Dodge of Kevin Lacroix back on the lead lap.
Yeah, Lacroix takes that free pass. The field gets the one-to-go signal. No surprise to me, Andrew Ranger is elected to restart on the outside.
Pretty much Captain Highliner. He loves, on the ovals anyway, he loves to be on the outside.
He also has an old friend, DJ Kennington, on the pole. Now, I know you're not friends on the racetrack, but I think he can be confident that this early in the race, DJ's not going to mess with him, so he knows it'll be clean.
Ton of respect between those two drivers, both champions in their own right as well, as we get set to go back to green.
Clear, clear.
Gets the clear sign down to the inside. So not only was that good for Andrew Ranger, but for DJ Kennington, it greatly reduces his risk of falling back through the field on the outside, as we've got a lot of contact.
3 wide with the 22 of Marc-Antoine Cameron, the median that sandwich. Cameron won the last time out. And you can see now he's stuffed up on the outside. 3 wide going into 1 as well, with Malcolm Strawn way to the inside.
What an exchange on that first lap after the restart.
And you can see the 22 of Marc-Antoine Cameron down pit lane. It looks like he may have cut a General tire with that contact.
Looks like it is another right front tire on this 22 racing team. They'll make the switch, but Marc-Antoine Cameron going multiple laps down.
Unlike Trayton Lapcevich, who got the benefit of the caution, Marc-Antoine Cameron pitting in the GM High A number 22 under green, so he will go many, many laps down with this stop.
It's a fast way to ruin a day. And look at our third place driver, Shea Gemmel. The North Country Property Maintenance number 8 is closing in on the race leaders.
They had a great run at Sunset Speedway in the first couple of ovals to start the 2021 season. Sat out for all the road course races, but he's back and looking for a podium spot here today.
Brett Taylor a little quicker than Larry Jackson right now. Fast Eddie Speedway number 3. There's a little bit of front bumper on the veteran Larry Jackson.
Larry Jackson not quick to move in that O'Neill Electric supply. Number 84, you can see the back end of the TCV trailers, number 3, moving around there.
We got a slow car on the front straightaway of Sam Fellows.
Mike, coming to you, need a right front.
And that's his father, Canadian Motorsport Hall of Famer Ron Fellows, indicating to the crew that Sam is coming in. But this is on board with a bumper-to-bumper dodge of Kevin Lacroix. He's had motor troubles all day, so he's down pit lane once again as Fellows makes his way down pit lane. But we're still under green. Todd?
This one is definitely not a flat tire, guys. This may be motor issues resurfacing with the 74. You can see the water gushing out from underneath that car. That is definitely a terminal problem for Kevin Lacroix for this race.
Possibly a rad hose come off or punctured.
Well, they changed that motor here at Flamboro Speedway just before practice, so they had just a few minutes to get that motor in and then go out for qualifying, so not a lot of testing laps. And you're right, when you're doing it in a hurry, some things could be overlooked potentially.
Here, Dexter got back to the gas just a touch too soon, had to lift, hit it again. That's what we'll find all day long as you go to the onboards. The cars that are handling well, you don't hear them lift once they get back to the throttle. And that tiny difference.
Listen to Brandon Watson.
Once on the throttle, so you can see the car get off the brake. And then on the throttle, in fact, you can hear the revs pick up like crazy where he throws traction, but he doesn't lift. He turns to the right and rides it out.
And we should mention, too, as we heard from the Leland number 64 on board of Brandon Watson, this track does have a lot of character. There's some rough patches, some bumps, but home track knowledge will take care of a lot of that. As you see, Pete Shepard has moved his way up from starting last on the field in at 7, keeping it clean so far and picking up spots as they come.
Keep in mind that car was not set up for a third-mile oval like Flamboro Speedway, so he's having to feel what the car is doing at the same time as trying to perform on the racetrack on this long stretch of green flag. He's in the 11th spot, but he's moving in the right direction.
Yeah, we talk about drivers with lots of laps here at Flamboro Speedway. Pete Shepard III started here as a 13-year-old running a Thunder car so many years ago.
He was a 13-year-old stock car racer when there was not 13-year-old stock car racers. It's commonplace now. The Lapsevich brothers did it. They started that young. Back when Shepard did, it was unique.
Brandon Watson, another driver to start at 13 years old as well. And there he is. You can see the hood going back down on the bumper-to-bumper dodge. So whatever issues for that team have been resolved, Kevin Lacroix going out to try and generate as many points as he possibly can.
Every point matters. Andrew Ranger in the miles per migraine 51 continues to lead the way. DJ Kennington, though, and Shea Gemmel are keeping him honest. They are right there.
Yeah, the top 3 have been able to break away from this 4th place battle between the 84 of Larry Jackson and the 3 of Brett Taylor as they work through lap traffic. That's the R Club number 56 of Malcolm Strong just ahead.
Jackson trying to size up Strong.
That's a pretty good run, though, for that Jim Bray prepared number 56, you have to admit.
Malcolm Strong is not an oval track racer. He's a road course expert, and this is trial by fire right now in a race car that really isn't proven on an oval track.
Smart driver, though, and he's knowing enough to keep it up and out of the way as the race leaders move along. As you can see, LP Dumoulin hit one of those bumps. A little bit of the character here at Flamboro Speedway as the car gets a little bit loose underneath him.
Brett Taylor continues to apply the pressure on Larry Jackson, and you can see Jackson is running a traditional line at Flamborough. Taylor might be hurting himself by running down on the apron a little bit, Dave.
Yeah, for sure. But we talked about the points battle off the top of the show, and look who has found each other on the racetrack. The 18 of Alex Tagliani, your points leader, coming into this one. The WeatherTech Dodge of LB Dumoulin second. And both have had pretty good records here at Flamboro Speedway last year when the series stopped here, both finishing in the top 10 on both occasions.
I'll tell you what, all of the Ed Hackinson racing cars, they're pretty sporty today. We're looking at Dexter Stacy in the 92 having a solid top 10 run. He's the worst of the EHR cars right now. Shea Gemmel in third, Brett Taylor back in the 5th spot.
And we'll be back with more in the Motomaster 125 here on TSN. A storied location is Flamboro Speedway, celebrating 59 years of racing in Southern Ontario, and today hosting the NASCAR Pinty Series in the Motomaster 125. Andrew Ranger in the Miles for Migraines number 51 continues to lead, but Shea Gemmel down pit lane now.
Yet again, guys, this is the 4th contender today. Right front tire down on the 8 of Shea Gemmel. That team going to work to make that swap. Right front lug nuts are off, new tire going on.
If you had told me how much green flag action we would have had on pit road, Dave, I would not believe you.
You can see the tire mark on the right front fender for Shea Gemmel, so potentially contact there, a slow leak, and eventually it going flat.
Brett Taylor has gotten around Larry Jackson in the 84. Jackson did a good job to get back in line before Alex Tagliani could make a move on him, but it's really bunched up the field at the moment.
And you see Gemmel jumped out just in front of this battle, right in front of Larry Jackson, and Alex Tagliani as your leader continues to be the man from Roxton Pond, Quebec in the 51, Andrew Ranger. His former teammate, the Castrol Edge Dodge of DJ Kennington, giving chase.
You know, we've talked about Rick Ware Racing and all of the series that they race in. Colin Livingston giving Alex Tagliani some instruction. Let's ride along.
We have talked about the importance of a good spotter, especially on a short track oval like this. Not so important at a place like Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, a long road course. Here, you need them. They're your guardian angel.
You're absolutely right. Dave, we're talking about Rick Ware Racing and all the various series he's involved with at the highest level of motorsports. He has yet to find victory lane in a NASCAR-sanctioned Touring Series race.
Well, his driver is doing a pretty good job here today. Out in front is Andrew Ranger, the first season for Rick Ware Racing here in the NASCAR Pinty Series. Of course, Alex Gannett spinning out early in this one, but still trying to climb his way back up through the field, and Andrew Ranger is having a good, solid run at the front.
Dexter Stacy looking to the inside of LP Dumoulin. He's able to get right back to the throttle. You saw him close in on the back bumper of the WeatherTech 47. That 92 machine is hooked up.
Yeah, Dexter Stacy with 3 top 10s already in the 2021 season, so he's quietly piecing himself together a very solid season here.
And the point standings are insanely tight from about 3rd back to 12th.
The instruction to the Andrew Ranger, your race leader. You're going to pass him on the bottom. Malcolm Strong will hold on to the outside lane as Ranger goes through.
He's been doing that all day long.
Clear, all clear, all clear.
Joe Chisholm guides Andrew Ranger and tells him how close DJ is. Malcolm Strong is racing a little bit differently than a lot of oval regulars do. Quite often, the lap cars will stay to the bottom. But hats off to Joe Chisholm knowing, hey, Strawn's been saying to the top, you're going to have to make this pass on the bottom of the racetrack.
And it's worth saying that the spotter community in the NASCAR Pinty Series is just that, a very tight community. They talk to each other in the spotter stand saying, we're coming, can you give us space?
Oh, it's been friendly up there, it's been communicative up there, and it's been ugly up there over the years.
Battle for 6th position between the WeatherTech Dodge of LB Dumoulin and the Bullies Truck Stop number 92 of Dexter Stacy. Stacy looking for a way by, maybe playing a little bumper tag at times.
Kevin Lacroix in the 74, he is many laps down, but he's out there turning laps to pick up any positions he might be able to gain. And boy, I don't know if there's a vibration in that car. We never see the camera do that.
We can tell you 34 laps down to be precise is Kevin Lacroix in the 74. So he's currently last on our running order, but trying to pick up points because at this point in the race, there's still a lot of laps left. You never know what can happen. As we ride on board your points leader in the Rona Viagra, number 18, Alex Tagliani.
We are just past the halfway point in this Motomaster 125. There's a lot of racing left. There's going to be a lot of obstacles between here and the end of that race. So Kevin Lacroix, he's got to keep on digging.
Right on board the O'Neill Milwaukee number 84 of Larry Jackson. He's keeping touch with the 3 of Brett Taylor in front of him as Dexter Stacy gets into the left rear corner of the 47 of LP Tulane. Both drivers have to gather it back up.
The fun thing about this part of the race, Dave, is we get into that middle third towards the end. Now you're going to see the drivers who have been overdriving their car to try to keep up, they're just not going to be able to keep up. Drivers whose cars are improving, wow, a little bit of rubbing there between Dexter Stacy and LP Dumoulin. Stacy's car clearly is really starting to come to him. They're going to be moving forward.
Comers and goers. Dexter Stacy is a comer at this point in the race. He saw a small gap. He opened it up a little bit further, and now he starts to move forward. 2-3 car lengths now down the backstretch on the 47 of Dumoulin.
Just behind them, the 64 of Brandon Watson, that Leland Industries entry, again, started in the 11th spot. He's running in the 8th spot, and this is a high-paced learning opportunity. Let's have a look at this close call.
Leader in lap traffic, Brent Weller in the 61, trying to turn off the wall off turn number 4. It almost comes down right in front of the 51.
I just finished saying there will be obstacles between here and the end of the race. I didn't think the obstacle would be actually a race car stopped on the front stretch.
And now he's got his teammate ahead of him in the Moto Limité number 52, Alex Guinnett. And caution is on the field for the number 92 of Dexter Stacy, stopped in turn number 3.
10-4.
Crew's asking him what broke. You can hear the engine sputtering and then coming to a rest on the inside of that corner. Full course caution once again.
All that work, all the time he invested passing LP Dumoulin, and the car comes up lame on the back straightaway.
And he did confirm engine trouble for the 92 Bullies Truck Stop Chevrolet. Have a listen.
It sounds so ugly when they go bad, doesn't it, Dave?
You can hear parts and pieces banging around inside that engine block, and it's just doing more damage until the 92 comes to a stop. But there is your race leader, who is comfortably out front. He'll have DJ Kennington starting alongside when we return. Dexter Stacy getting a push back to the pits as we return to the place that put Millgrove, Ontario on the map about an hour outside of Toronto at Flamboro Speedway, and it looks like the day is done for the Bullies Truck Stop Chevrolet.
Dexter Stacy plenty sweaty inside the car, and his dad Wall is helping to push that into his pit stall. They're having a blast this season. I'm sure today might be a little bit stressful, but they've really enjoyed themselves this season at the track.
Coming back to the restart, the 51 of Andrew Ranger with 140 NASCAR Pinty Series starts. He has 28 wins. He's been dominant so far as the green flag waves once again, and we're back underway.
All clear, all clear. Inside the 3, inside quarter.
Steve Simmons telling DJ Kennington, the 3-car, you're inside. Brett Taylor got a great launch, got into the back of Kennington in the corner. It looks like Kennington going to hold him off, but a good restart for Brett Taylor has him in the 3rd spot, right behind that lead duo, Dave.
But Larry Jackson in the 84, this is the strongest we've seen that car run since the first couple races at Sunset Speedway. Larry Jackson not necessarily known for his prowess on road courses, and we had 4 of them back to back to back to back.
Over as many years in the series, Larry Jackson has 1 podium finish. Came at Sunset Speedway a number of years ago. He's looking pretty good at the moment, Dave.
Sure is. So is the 7 of Pete Shepard. Look at him on the outside of Donald Teach. Teach in the 80, Shepard in the ABC number 7. Again, an untested car, unset up, coming into this race. And Shepard just got in and drove, and that's exactly what he's doing. He's driving the wheels off that thing.
Picking up a foot or two a lap on Donald Teach, and then once he gets to the point where he can dictate the line, he's able to advance that position. So Pete Shepard doing a nice job to get around the 80.
You're wondering where our pole sitter has gone to. The 20 of Trayton Lapsevich, still 2 laps down as we ride on board with the Quick driver.
2 laps down is the worst situation in NASCAR.
Clear by 1.5.
You're usually not going to get the free pass, but you still have that glimmer of hope. Kevin Lacroix knows that all he can do is turn lap after lap after lap. He has no chance of getting back into contention. Trayton still has that bit of hope, Dave.
The fighting spirit, and he will fight to the checkered flag. But these 2 drivers at the front of the field, between DJ Kennington and Andrew Ranger, they have 313 NASCAR Pinty Series starts, 49 combined wins. And when you look at their overall NASCAR starts, 479 total NASCAR starts. Talk about veterans.
These drivers have gotten around, and let's not forget DJ Kennington has never missed a start in the NASCAR Pinty Series. With all of his travels and all of the series he's run, he's never failed to show up for one of our NASCAR Pinty Series races.
Not just show up, he always runs strong. Exactly what he's doing here today. Never outside the top 3. As we ride on board with LP Dumoulin, came into this race second in points. He's currently chasing the Leland Chevrolet of Brandon Watson.
What we don't see here is Pete Shepard in that black number 7 right on his bumper. From our in-car camera, you can't see it, but you know it's got to be on LP Dumoulin's mind as he can see him in his mirror.
Got to the inside, so that door is open for Shepard to try and work his way through. Dave Jacobs preparing the Ford Fusion of Pete Shepard. Kyle Marcelli had a podium finish at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park in a car out of that shop just last race. Pete Shepard looking for similar results today.
So many people putting in the work. Ron Easton on that crew, a lot of people. Pete Shepard Jr., who is Pete Shepard's the 3rd dad. You've got Tim. The list goes on and on of people who have been down in the puddles today, swapping out parts to get that ready.
For sure, and we have to give a tip of the hat to Brian Cathcart. If you remember that name from the CASCAR series and the NASCAR Pinty series from years ago, he's here. Of course, he helps get the 17 car to the track through Cathcart Trucking, the 7 car as well. And there's talk that maybe Brian Cathcart is bringing that sweet mullet back out of retirement and going to make a few starts in 2022.
Always good to see Brian at the racetrack, even better when he's behind the wheel.
Watson from Stainer, Ontario, giving the Lachine, Quebec driver Alex Tagliani a chase. As the laps continue to tick down, it's getting down to the final throws of this one. We're just over 25 laps left to go.
Larry Jackson's car shoots up the racetrack. He might have some handling problems. Another driver with problems with Todd Lewis.
Dexter, you've been having a really strong season in the Pinty Series, but a frustrating day today. What happened?
Going into turn 3, the motor just blew up on me, and I know we had a top 5 car. I think it was just getting quicker and quicker and quicker, and hard place to pass, but we made a couple of passes when we could. So.
Sorry to see you out early.
Dexter Stacey sporting the big beard. He should just keep growing that beard until he gets a win here in the NASCAR Pinty Series, which may not be too much longer.
And to show a little bit about how racers think, Dexter even said, hard place to pass, but we made a couple of them. Right? A couple passes in 70 laps, and a driver celebrates that.
So tough, as you can see the 74 of Kevin Lacroix working around the 52 of Alex Skinner. Those 2 drivers not on the same lap, but you can see it's tough getting around no matter where you are on the racetrack. These 4 drivers are on the same lap, 5 if you count the 47 of Dumoulin just in behind. So this is a tight battle now.
I thought trouble for Larry Jackson.
Oh, this is heartbreak for the O'Neill Electric Supply number 84. Jackson off the base, toes to the inside.
I was just going to say that I don't know that the handling was going away. I think he had chosen to start to run that outside groove.
Yeah, he pulls to the inside, waits for the gap, but Jackson's going to dive for pit lane, so no caution here. Now with 24 laps to go in the Motomaster 125. The engine's still running, so it doesn't sound like motor trouble. Now there is a caution, and it's for the 80 of Donald Teach around in turn number 3.
XPN sponsored number 80 of Donald Teach from Bois-Chatel, Quebec. Has lost a lap up there sitting against the wall. Let's have a look. Kevin Lacroix right on the back bumper of that number 80.
Oh, that could have been payback from earlier, possibly.
If nothing else, Kevin Lacroix finishes what he starts.
8 wheels brake better than 4, definitely, and he used Donald Teach as a brake going into turn number 3.
As he was spinning, notice Donald Teach isn't looking at who spun him out. He knows. He's looking at the concrete to see when am I going to hit. Thankfully, he was able to get the car stopped before he got into the wall.
Yeah, just a little bit of a body brace hanging down. No major damage to the 80 of Teach, Don.
Oh, yeah. Larry Jackson, who's had some really strong runs so far this season. How come you're out early in this one?
I think the rear gear, woo, that's close. The O'Neill, Milwaukee, Dodge, running awesome, man. Oh my God, we're up front, we're killing it. Rear gear, just spun coming off of 2 there. Knew exactly what it was. We had a great, brand new set of gear in there. That thing running on rails. Got my O'Neill hat on, killing it. We're back out for the next one.
Thanks, Larry.
Next opportunity will be the Canadian Tire 125 at Delaware Speedway.
So the drivers settling in for a sprint to the finish now. As when we return, we'll go back to green here at Flamboro Speedway. Flagman Dan Hawkins set to give the one to go at Flamboro Speedway as Andrew Ranger leads with 21 laps to go. In the offseason, though, DJ Kennington and Rick Verburn, who's the crew chief on Ranger's car, built their own 1/8 of a mile dirt track in Otterville for Ryan Verburn and Chase Kennington to test their micro sprint racers as they begin their racing career. Pretty cool thing.
If I'm not mistaken, they have both taken checkered flags in their young careers there. So it's obviously that practice track is doing a little bit of good.
And DJ Kennington, the quick wick, hottest lap of the race so far behind the wheel of that Castrol Edge Dodge. He'll start to the inside of Andrew Ranger. Ranger, the leader, selecting that outside groove one more time as we get set to go back to green with 17 laps to go.
Half back good for you, right when you tight. Still all clear, all clear.
Brett Taylor was super aggressive on the last restart. Right there on Kennington's bumper as well this time, but Alex Tagliani. All Alex has done is kept his nose clean today, and there he is in that 4th spot.
We talked about how good he was here in 2020. Alex Tagliani finished 4th and 6th here last year, so he knows he can get it done, but he's thinking big picture here in 2021.
How many times have we seen Brandon Watson and Pete Shepard race side by side at a short track in Ontario? This is the first time, though, in the NASCAR Pinty Series.
Drivers who know each other well as Shepard will slot in just ahead of the WeatherTech 47 of LP Dumoulin.
Dumoulin's car, I just don't think it's been quite where he needs it today. It's good enough to stay with the pack, but it doesn't look like he's been able to make a lot of moves out there in that 47 machine.
Remember, the 47 machine, an in-house chassis prepared at Dumoulin Competition at their headquarters in Trois-Rivières, Quebec. And so far, it's worked out pretty well. A win already here in 2021. Pick that one up at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park.
The lap's winding down. It'll be 12 laps to go this time. DJ Kennington, 2 or 3 car lengths between himself and Andrew Ranger. He's not been able to close in and really pressure Ranger for the lead.
And we haven't seen Ranger really run this strong all season long. Even on some of the road courses, he's had some mechanical gremlins creep up, and that Rick Ware Racing number 51 are just plain old bad luck at times.
Seemed to me recently at CTMP, the car looked good. The engine seemed good. He was keeping up on the straightaways. He was keeping up in the turns, and he could really drive like the Andrew Ranger that we remember. Here he is today doing the same thing on an oval.
Quick ride on board the Leland RGC Sports number 64 as Brandon Watson has a full mirror filled with the 7 of Pete Shepard.
Shepard closing in on the back bumper.
Speaking of back bumpers, you can see the nose of the 3 of Brett Taylor very close to the back end of the 17 now. Under 10 laps to go.
Nearly a full car length between the 17 of DJ Kennington. Much less than that between Pete Shepard and the 7 and Brandon Watson in the 64. The battle continues for the 5th spot.
Little contact, but that's pretty normal here in the NASCAR Pinty Series as the ABC number 7 of Pete Shepard moves through and into the top 5.
Brandon Watson gets down in front of LP Dumoulin to protect the 6th spot, keep himself from losing even more.
And look at the windshield of the 64, Brandon Watson. Little moisture starting to fall, not enough to really affect this racing surface, but definitely the drivers will be talking to the teams right now, reporting that it is starting to spin.
Just a handful of laps now for Andrew Ranger. DJ Kennington's been unable to bring that Castrol Edge Dodge up to really contest the lead. Brett Taylor at the same time has been unable to close in on the 17 at Kennington.
No pressure here. Clear by 4.
That is music to the ears of Andrew Ranger's Joe Chisholm Jr., indicating how much of a gap he has back to old friend DJ Kennington.
And in this style of NASCAR racing, it's not like the arrow gets in the way that we see at intermediate tracks. It's just 3 drivers hitting their marks every lap, not giving an opportunity to the car behind them.
Yeah, at this point, they're waiting for the driver ahead to make that small mistake, and it really doesn't take much on a short lap like this. Small mistake can lead to about 10 car lengths just like that.
Single file with 2 laps to go. DJ Kennington, if he's got anything, he's got to bring it out now.
Clear by 4. White flag this time here.
Kennington drove it right up to the outside wall down the back straightaway that time. He's trying to get the most out of that Castrol Edge Dodge. Chasing the Rick Ware Racing number 51 of Andrew Ranger down the back straightaway for the final time. The man from Roxton Pond, Quebec will lead him off turn 4.
He was a man.
Nothing subdued about that celebration. Let's go to the pits.
There's a celebration happening now for the 51 team. Rick Verburn, first victory of the season. You guys had control of this right from the beginning.
Yeah, this car is just bad fast all day long here. So proud of Andrew Ranger to come back from what we've been through this year and put that miles for Migraine Dodge and Victory Lane. Thanks to Rick Ware Racing and everybody that keeps us going. Our crew guys did an awesome job.
Congratulations.
Thanks, guys.
For the 29th time in his NASCAR Pinty Series career, Andrew Ranger will find his way to victory lane when we return. We'll meet him there.
Andrew Ranger's got the helmet off. He's got the hat on. And he's just getting that checkered flag out from around that steering wheel. And that unmistakable smile is going to be visible as he climbs out of that number 51 car. And Andrew Ranger will celebrate his first victory of the 2021 season here in the NASCAR Pinty Series. It's his first victory since 2019 at Loudon, New Hampshire. Fist bump from crew chief Rick Verburn.
Yeah.
You had a hot car all day long, my friend.
Oh my God, I want to thank Rick, but I want to thank my crew. They did an excellent job. It's amazing. That car is awesome. You know, I was able to lead on the lap 2 or 3, whatever, and we end up with the victory. So great race car. I want to thank Rick Ware Racing, all of my sponsor here. It's amazing.
Andrew Ranger is a winner here at Flamboro Speedway.
Yes, sir, bud.
Second place finish here for DJ Kennington. DJ, you had a little bit of contact early. Do you think you could have beat the winner if you just didn't get a little rough at the beginning?
Absolutely. I know the steering wheel was off there right after lap 1, but our Castrol Edge Dodge was awesome. Can't complain at all. Andrew's just a little bit better there, but you know, for all of our supporters after the weekend we had last week with Spark Power, Castro, Brian Cathcart, Will Wright Transport, Canadian Linen, everybody that helps us do this thing, man. It's just good to be back up front, and we'll do our dangest to try to get us a checkered flag here right away.
Having a look at our Motomaster 125 final results, Pete Shepard with a spirited drive from last to 5th.
Yeah, and you have Brandon Watson, his first start, coming home inside the top 10. Couple of drivers with tough luck, Larry Jackson and Dexter Stacy, along with Kevin Lacroix, finishing towards the tail. Let's head back down trackside.
Brett Taylor with a podium finish here at Flamboro Speedway. The family here to celebrate.
Yeah, I got my boy Titus here with me to watch us bring this thing home to 3rd place. Super pumped to have a good result for the team. You know, we've been working so hard this year, haven't had the results. Finally, they're showing up. So I got to thank TCB, Fast Eddie, Winging It Restaurants, the whole EHR team, Jamie, Macy, all the girls. Like, they're just, everybody's, Hannah, can't forget her. Everybody's been awesome.
Thanks, Brett.
Thanks, guys.
Good to see Brett from Calgary, Alberta, bringing his family to Ontario for this race here today. And take a look at the point standings. Tagliani stretches it out just a little bit.
He does so, Dumoulin 11 points back, but then look at how tight it is. 3rd place on back. There's still a lot of players in this championship chase, and if Ranger keeps on winning, anything is possible.
The Motomaster 125 on TSN has been brought to you by Quick, the world's #1 fire starter. By WeatherTech, the ultimate interior protection for your vehicle. By Leland Industries, a proud Canadian fastener company. And by Sunbelt, when you're ready to tackle that large job or weekend project, turn to sunbeltrentals.com for all your equipment needs.
Dave, we got this one in just in time. The rain is starting to fall here at Flamboro Speedway, but the racing gods were shining on Andrew Ranger this afternoon.
And the racing was hot on track all the way through this 125-lap affair. Super tight racing right through this field. Sometimes a little too tight.
Yeah, Alex Gannett's day went bad from the start. He was 5th in points coming into today. He is not anymore.
After 4 straight road courses, a return to the ovals. A lot of the drivers excited to be here. One excited to leave with the checkered flag, and that's Andrew Ranger.
We'll see everybody at Delaware Speedway when we wrap up the season with a triple header.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our fans for your support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.